California is known for its sun, surf, and hot bodies. And nowhere are the hot bodies more evident than at the annual California Championship. This year, the event was held in Redondo Beach, and it attracted all types of bodybuilding people with a variety of interests.
In California, with Sean Ray winning it, Mike Christian, some of the best bodybuilders in the world have won this title, and I've never missed it.
Well, since we're the major sponsor of the contest, I thought we might want to show up and see who's going to win. And I wanted to introduce my friend Alex Hosso, the 1998 Mr. Olympia champion. And,
Blew that one.
She's here, and we're here. She's a very dear niece of ours, and I promised her I'd come. We came up from San Diego to see her.
Yeah, that's why I had Danger Throne.
来年か再来年あたり僕も大会に出たいと思うんで、he wants to compete maybe 2 or 3 years later, and so he just wants to take a.
Came to this contest because my boyfriend's in it.
yep, and I'm in it.
Hopefully he'll win.
Yeah.
But eventually, it was time for the show to start. Throughout the pre-judging, it became obvious to fans that in all weight divisions, size, shape, and symmetry were being weighed more in the judges' scoring than extreme muscle definition. Although these new judging standards weren't very popular to the fans, they're encouraging a healthier and safer sport to the competitors. Runner-up in the teenage division was Ryan Spencer, a drug-free competitor from Idaho, California. The former high school wrestler and football lineman is currently working his way through college as a waiter. Winning the lightweight division was Kris Dim, who had recently vanquished all competition at both the Natural Mr. Universe and Orange County Muscle Classic contests. He also works as a waiter while earning a college degree in nutrition. Former Muscle Mania teenage champion Jeramie Hernandez returned to the stage after 18 months of both 20 pounds heavier and more rest. A student in Modesto, he also enjoys mountain biking and scuba diving as well as bodybuilding. Although he's known for his tremendous leg development, Jeramie is continuing to bring his upper body onto an equal level. The teen overall pose down saw Kris Dim square off against Jeramie Hernandez. Although Jeramie carried more size, Kris had cut, shape, and symmetry that couldn't be beat. Kris Dim was crowned Teenage California Champion, making it well worth his long, lonely 8-hour drive down I-5 from Sacramento. Moving into the women's division, Santa Clara's Kathy Ridgeway began training 5 years ago because she decided muscle looks better than no muscle. The computer programmer had trouble with her family accepting her bodybuilding until her young nieces shared their opinion.
My family really didn't understand why I was doing what I'm doing, and it all seemed kind of foreign to them. And but my nieces really think I'm cool. So once my nieces started accepting me, the rest of my family said, "Well, okay, well, that's okay then."
After coming off a Masters win at the Palm Springs, Gail Pearson rolled into a 4th place at the Cow. The personal trainer was previously a Broadway dancer and instructor, making for some very entertaining posing routines.
I use everything I've ever used. And I do more dance than I do posing. Because to me, you can see the muscles as you're moving. And you're not judging in the nighttime routine. So I figure hit a pose here and there, and the rest of the time do what I do.
In 3rd place was Diana Hudson, a professional photographer from Sacramento. Despite her advanced development, Diana has been training for only 3 years, although she was a champion swimmer in high school. She has 2 teenage daughters who provide all her moral support. The youngest woman in the contest was 22-year-old Andrea Pavlik, a dental assistant from Oxnard. The former self-confessed jock was involved in basketball, track, and volleyball before she found bodybuilding 2 years ago. Andrea's next step will be a career change to the National Guard Reserve. Winning the class was Chantal Beaumier, a professional figure skater, star of the Ice Capades, and former member of the Canadian Olympic kayaking team. Since she started bodybuilding in 1984, Chantal has won overall titles at the Iron Maiden, the Tournament of Champions, and the Orange County Muscle Classic. Obviously, athleticism runs in her family in a big way.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I came from a very athletic family. My father was in the Olympics. My younger brother has made twice the Olympics, 1988, 1992 in kayaking. I also was in the national team in kayaking. And just from that, I gained a lot of strength in my back and my arms.
Anaheim's Rhonda Jorgenson has won almost every contest in Southern California in her brief 4 years of competing and is ready to move on to bigger, more competitive events. The former gymnast and varsity track and softball star made the switch to bodybuilding at the suggestion of her boyfriend, Jim Buchalik. And she admits that being
To promote bodybuilding, you've got to have a wide general acceptance of the sport. And just by nature, people are lean more towards something that's pleasing to your parents than something that's not.
when the three class winners were compared, the extreme muscularity of Chantal Beaumier was edged out by heavyweight Rhonda Jorgenson. With the teenage and women's events over, the anticipation was running high for the men's division to take the stage.
Do you want it?
Do you really want it? If you want it, get Isopro-Thermic Force, the 6-week complete integrated conditioning program to help maximize your body's potential and enhance muscle definition. It's more than just pills and powders.
IsoPro really works.
Yeah, check this out. That was me before IsoPro. This is me now.
You've gotta want it. Isopro-Thermic Force, you've gotta want it. And find health stores and general nutrition centers.
The men's division of the California Championship has produced some awesome winners, such as Mike Christian, Troy Buccalato, and Flex Wheeler. So when the Golden State's best bodies get together for the state title, you know it's going to be rough. Starting the men's division was the Bantamweight division, and winner Carl Taylor, a mechanic and reserve police officer from San Marcos. He began training 5 years ago to strengthen his legs for cycling, and has since been awarded several Bantamweight and lightweight class wins. Runner-up in the lightweights was Tony Murphy Jr., a physics teacher from Venice. He got into training in 1982 to help his younger brother prepare for the Teenage USA, and has since won the Natural USA and the NTC National Mixed Pairs Championship. Winning yet another lightweight class was Roger Zarate, a pool technician from Norwalk. The former high school wrestler is trained by Scott Livingstone, Orange County's answer to renowned trainers Chris Asillo and Charles Glass. Since he comes from a Spanish and Italian family, the dieting process is especially grueling.
Yeah, it's tough. It makes the dieting real tough at home because I like to eat a lot of pasta, fattening type of foods. But since I've gotten into bodybuilding, I've kind of changed them around to eat a little leaner and everything.
Fifth in the middleweights was Lou Mazza, a truck driver and personal trainer from Sonoma with gifted shape. The former wrestler had a unique training partner for the show, his 2-year-old son, Mason, who goes with dad twice a day to the gym. What we want to know is, how did Mason do as a spotter? In third place was Steve Mackenzie, a former teenage sensation from Wilmington. When he was called out for third place, the auditorium was filled with loud booing. With his physique, anything other than first place seemed impossible for Steve, a former swimming champion. With a name like Romeo, you'd have no choice but to get big and strong. Romeo Villarino is originally from Seattle, Washington, and he brought his weight from 125 pounds to 190 through weight training. Romeo's enormous self-confidence came through in his posing routine, which stood out the same way professional Vince Taylor's did at the 91 Mr. Olympia.
Check out this guy.
Moving up to the middleweight division was the dazzling Danny Hester, who placed top 4 last year as a lightweight at the Nationals and the USA. His shape and symmetry are becoming more evident and trademarked as he packs on size. Fifth in the lightheavies was Frank Alexander, a personal trainer and national NTC judge from Laguna Niguel. Frank was a class winner at the 91 Chicago Muscle Mania, an overall Tournament of Champions winner. Although we once said he was too tall for this weight class, he disagreed.
the way you present yourself on stage is a much better illusion than what people look at you from out in the audience and see. You know, the smaller joints and the smaller waist brings out the balance of the physique, and it shows the real true symmetry.
In fourth was Curtis Hayes, winner of the Armed Forces contest. You may also recognize Curtis from his appearances in Cybergenics magazine advertisements. Though he's been a heavyweight for years, he decided this time to sharpen up and come in as a light heavyweight.
A week out from the show, I was only 2 pounds over the light heavyweight class, and instead of competing as a heavyweight at the bottom of the class, I thought it would be a better venture to go into the light heavyweight class and go in bigger.
In third place was Henrik Thamasian, who had just scored an overall victory at the Orange County the week before. As a teenager, his friends brought him to the gym and started him training, but he was the only one that stayed with it and became a bodybuilder. Since he doesn't carry the mass of some competitors, he knows what he needs to do to win.
So I figured with my physique, I better come in refined and polished this year. So I took about 3 to 4 months to get ready for this show. I dieted real strict, but I took it very gradual, so I wouldn't lose the quality size that I had built over the last year.
Runner-up was the very thickly developed Harold Cherry from San Jose. Although he could go far in bodybuilding, he recently signed a contract with the World Wrestling Federation to start wrestling next year. So on contest diet. Winning the class was veteran competitor Lionel Rangel. He was a one-time roommate of Mr. California Dennis Newman, and the two competed against one another at the San Diego Musclemania. Lionel also owns his own personal training and medical rehabilitation business. Fourth in the heavyweights was Big Bill Burney, a police officer from Placentia, California. He placed top 6 at the USA, but for the past 2 years, his preparations for the California have been hampered by the 2 Rodney King trials.
Well, both times just prior to each contest, last year and this year, I guess you'd say I was on the front lines of the riot preparation. Working 12-hour shifts, no days off, and preparing for last year with USA, this year with California. It's not easy.
Curt Brunetti started training to stay out of trouble as a teenager and became a champion bodybuilder in the process. The Santa Clara resident recently took the overall at the Contra Costa, a prestigious Northern California contest. Do any of you recognize this man? If you don't remember David Nelson from his first year as the American Gladiator Titan, then you've seen him in the commercial for Frosted Mini Wheats. David is a commercial actor with the goal of becoming the next action film hero, and recently appeared on the hit show Martin. His first contest had only been the week before this. It's been a long career already for John Cutri, who's been training since the age of 12 and competing off and on since 1979. Along the way, he's won overall titles at the Orange County, the San Diego, and the Palm Springs. Although he certainly looks intimidating, he claims to be a really nice guy.
I think they might be a little intimidated from the fact that I have a mustache, a flat top, and I don't smile much, but I've got a chance to talk to a lot of the judges, and they feel like I'm sincere, and I'm not. I don't really say that in if you get to know me. I mean, first impressions, they're going to think I look like an ass murderer or something, but I'm a nice guy.
The overall pose down was a true battle between size and mass versus shape and symmetry. In the end, it was the frightening John Cutri who became the new California champion. Now it's up to him to fulfill the legacy and the tradition of past Mr. California. For Muscle Magazine, I'm Chris Adams.